Welcome to your weekly astrological forecast for the week of Monday, February 21st through Sunday, February 27th. This week, we've got moon is waning, so we're coming off of that Leo moon from last week, and so the moon is losing light each day now, and it will be waning from Libra through Aquarius this week. And we've got some really beautiful trines as the moon goes through Scorpio in the first part of the week, and then it gets a little bit more tumultuous when the moon goes through Sagittarius because we'll have a third quarter moon there that I'll talk about more in just a moment. And then the moon will just continue to wane basically. So, in general, over the course of this week, with the exception of the third quarter moon, things are getting a little bit more relaxed, more, less active compared to where we were at on the full moon of last week. However, all the planets are direct still, so generally, there's lots of new activity, new things happening. We're very active at this time, and we are going forward into uncharted territory. So this is a great time for making new progress in our careers and our jobs, or just or with anything really, whatever our projects are. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the highlights of this week. Venus and Mars will continue to be basically conjunct within a degree or two from one another all week this week. They don't make an exact conjunction this week, but they're pretty much staying together. So they're bringing more desire, ambition, more pleasure to the area of Capricorn. So our foundations, our structures, our careers, our long-term goals and plans, all of that we are experiencing more desire and ambition with. So I really like this. I think Venus and Mars are really fun when they get together. It's kind of sexy, kind of fun. They both have so much to do with attraction and desire, and so they make things, I think, easier because they make things more enjoyable. We're really invested in the area that those planets are because that's what we're desiring at this time. So yeah, that's bringing some extra kind of action and fun to the realm of Capricorn. So we have that to look forward to. And I guess the last thing I'll mention before getting into the weekly forecast is by Friday, when the moon enters Capricorn, we'll have a whole lineup there with Pluto, Mars, Venus, and Moon all in Capricorn. So we have, we've definitely moved on past the Capricorn season. We're already in Pisces now, but we've still got this buildup of Capricorn that will kind of come into existence as we get toward this weekend here. So yeah, that is a little bit heavier. I did say Venus and Mars are kind of bringing some attraction and desire there, but Capricorn's kind of a heavier energy. So I'll talk more about that in just a moment as well. But without further ado, let's get into this weekly forecast. So starting on Monday, February 21st, we'll actually have the moon in Libra just for the few first hours of this day, but then pretty quickly moon enters Scorpio, where right off the bat it will make an exact trine to the sun. Sun is only at 3 degrees Pisces since it just entered Pisces last week. So this is really excellent. When the moon trines the sun, it's generally a really stable, positive day. It's easy to be kind of in a good mood, generally speaking, for all of us. And things just kind of flow very well. And especially with all the planets direct, I think it's really easy to just make new progress or to, I don't know, it's easier to be kind of active or to do whatever, just to be more generally active, if that makes sense. I know that's really general, but yeah, it just looks like kind of a positive, stable day. This trine is happening in the water signs of Scorpio and Pisces, so this could especially guide us toward activities which involve spirituality or creativity. The water signs are known to be kind of artistic or, creative, very passionate, so maybe musically oriented or what, however you express your creativity, this could be really great for that. The water signs are also known for their intuition, so we can be extra intuitive at this time, maybe extra perceptive. Moon in Scorpio especially is very perceptive and really keen on figuring everything out. um, so yeah, so there's really a lot of applications for this, but generally, these are the water signs that are getting this boost here. And if you see the moon in the sky, it will be mostly full, but definitely not completely full. It's, I don't know, maybe about 2/3 full when it's a waning gibbous moon like this. But whenever you see that, it's generally a positive day. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Going forward to February 22nd. This is really nice because as the moon continues through Scorpio, it leaves that exact trine with the sun, but it's still trining the sun by sign, so we still experience a lot of that, positive energy that started on Monday. But now the moon will trine Jupiter, and then later in the day it will trine Neptune as well. So, especially with Jupiter and Neptune both kind of in domicile in Pisces, this is a really excellent day for, a lot of that creativity, spirituality, for kind of opening up, for being open to the world. So kind of, like Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces are not very structured at all. They're more about kind of inclusion and openness to the world or spirituality, to the universe, etc. It gets kind of abstract and philosophical there. So I think this is an excellent day for just being open to one another, open toward, emotions. These water signs are very emotional, so even emotions are just one example of something that you have to be kind of open-minded or very open to even experience at all to allow something that's maybe not so controllable or something that's kind of ambiguous. And the same goes for spirituality. So that's why the water signs, are very emotional, but they're also very spiritual. It's because all these things are kind of unpredictable at times, but there's something that's maybe connecting to something greater than ourselves in a way. So this is an excellent day for spirituality, creativity, intuition, etc. And even if you're not being super artistic and creative, it's just generally a strong day in general, I think. Moon is in fall in Scorpio, but it's aspected so nicely by all these trines. I think that really doesn't matter. And the moon even sextiles Venus and Mars on this day in Capricorn. So a lot of these planets in, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces are all harmoniously aspecting one another. So I think this looks like a really beautiful, stable start to the week. By Wednesday, February 23rd, Moon enters Sagittarius. So this is a little bit different of an energy. Moon in Sagittarius is a little bit more rambunctious, more active, more free spirited. It's lighter, so it's more kind of fun and jovial. But the moon, in this case, starts to square the sun pretty quickly, and it will actually make that exact third quarter moon aspect, that square to the sun, will become exact today on Wednesday here. So that does add a lot of activity and restlessness whenever we have a third quarter moon. It is, prompting us to be more active, more rebellious or anxious. So on the one hand, it can be kind of stressful, or we can be anxious at these times. But on the other hand, as long as we're having some kind of outlet for that energy and being productive, or getting something done, we can kind of use that restlessness and then put it to work. So, in other words, this aspect is asking us to make change or to edit our situation. That's what all the the first and third quarter moons are good for, is for causing change. So it is disruptive, but it's also great for evolving basically. And the third quarter moon in particular, especially in Sagittarius, is great for making like philosophical changes. So maybe gaining, it's definitely action oriented and it's very physical, but on the other hand, it's also about gaining spirituality, gaining perspective over our situation. And I think Sagittarius is almost the perfect sign for a third quarter moon, because I naturally associate Sagittarius with third quarter moons anyway, because Sagittarius is a sign that's very active, very physical, but it's also kind of philosophical. So, and that's exactly what a third quarter moon is anyway. So in short, this day we might be a little bit rebellious, very active, restless, maybe a little bit stressed or anxious, but also more motivated, more ambitious to make changes and to kind of ask the bigger questions. Both the sun and the moon in this case are ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter's in domicile in Pisces. So this is a very Jupiterian configuration. So what that means is that we would feel and experience the themes of Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and spirituality and religion sometimes. So it wants to open us to the world and open us to new experiences, to ask the bigger questions and to gain that higher knowledge basically. So that's kind of the focus of this aspect. As kind of disruptive and chaotic as it seems, that's ultimately the focus, is to gain awareness and kind of open our hearts and our minds to that new experience or new awareness. On Wednesday, we also have Mars at 22 degrees Capricorn, sextiling Jupiter, or excuse me, sextiling Neptune at 22 degrees Pisces. And Venus will make this sextile tomorrow as well. Okay, so really the way I'm going to approach this, even though Wednesday only Mars is sextiling Neptune, Mars is pretty much conjunct with Venus, so Venus is about to make that conjunction as well. So really they're kind of, they're sort of a duo, they're a couple at this time, Mars and Venus. So with both of them making that sextile to Neptune, I think Wednesday and Thursday, we may experience a lot of creativity. So, I already described how Mars and Venus are making us kind of ambitious and, desiring long-term goals, desiring, new structures to our situations, and, I don't know, maybe working on long-term plans and goals, etc. We're experiencing a lot of desire and energy, motivation there. But now this is being combined with Neptune and Pisces, so we're adding this kind of spirituality or this vision, this manifestation, this creativity and openness to maybe dreaming a little bit bigger or thinking about things in a different way. There's kind of an openness there and a creativity, so we can be more spontaneous with our plans. So I think this is really beautiful. I've talked about in previous videos that combining Pisces and Capricorn is very powerful because both have such vision. Pisces is so intuitive and then Capricorn is so practical, and they're both kind of thinking about the really big picture or the far future. So combining both of these energies allows us to have a really, really great perspective over our situation, not only in the present but also in the future. And so it allows us to have, really excellent plans and goals that are not only practical and grounded, but also creative and, open to change, open to evolution and spirituality. So I think this is really beautiful. And it doesn't have to be productive. We don't have to be applying this toward work or projects. We could just be kind of bathing in this energy and relaxing as well. Because generally it looks like a positive energy. But all in all, with that third quarter moon, I would say to be more active in whatever you're doing today because it would be hard to just relax at this time. Okay, going forward to Thursday, February 24th. Moon is still in Sagittarius. It's not making that exact square anymore to the sun, but it is still in Sagittarius, so we're feeling still a little bit restless or anxious, but it's starting to wane now. It's starting to taper off from Wednesday. And, excuse me, now we have Venus making that sextile to Neptune. Venus at 22 degrees Capricorn, sextiling Neptune at 22 degrees Pisces. So a lot of what I said for Wednesday continues onto Thursday. Really excellent for, building our future world, building plans and goals, being creative but also practical. Really great for all of that. So that's a really excellent aspect. And then Mercury makes two aspects today. Mercury will sextile Chiron Mercury's at 10 degrees Aquarius, sextiling Chiron at 10 degrees Aries. And then later in the day, Mercury will be at 11 degrees Aquarius, where it will square Uranus. So this means that our thinking and communication is focused on personal wounds and empathy. It's kind of channeling our own personal wounds with Chiron and Aries. So, making our own histories known, our own emotional wounds known, which I've always said is kind of, it's good because it's good to make ourselves known and it's good for building understanding. But on the other side, it can be disruptive and chaotic and, there could be more protests happening. I know there's a lot of protests happening in the world already, so this could kind of spark and ignite those even more because Chiron and Aries is, it's making personal wounds known. So that what better way to do that than through a protest? So yeah, it's very disruptive, but can also it can have the potential to build empathy and it can be therapeutic. So, and especially with Mercury and Aquarius, we're thinking in a way that is kind of global or holistic. So we're thinking about the very far future or the very big picture. We're thinking about, how our actions and words affect us on a societal level or a global level. So that's really interesting. There could be some really large scale protests of sorts, but even those can be seen as some kind of communication. It could be a disruptive communication, but it can maybe have the potential to cause chaos and just be totally disruptive, but it could also build mutual understanding. So it's hard to say exactly how that will go. But either way, it's sort of centered around personal wounds and trying to heal those wounds. And in addition to that, we have Mercury squaring Uranus. So that is, I view that as a lot different of an aspect. So there could be changes and, sudden unpredictable changes and revolutions, sudden shifts or metaphorical earthquakes involving especially our finances. And this could have to do with finances being affected by the internet. Sudden changes to finance, Uranus and Taurus, affected by the internet, Mercury and Aquarius. So maybe, I don't know, stocks or commodities that are traded online could have sudden shifts in value. Things that weren't valued before are now valued greatly, or things that were valued greatly are now not valued. There could be also new commodities that are now valued more. Let's see what else here, or just various volatility or changes in values coming from online, coming from the internet, coming from technology as well. So a lot of these changes in values could have to do with new technologies. Um, yeah, things of that nature, pretty much. I think I summed it up. Okay, going forward to February 25th, Moon enters Capricorn about midday. And so this is a lot more harmonious again. We have these two clusters in Pisces and Capricorn, Sun, Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces, and then Pluto, Mars, Venus all in Capricorn. So the moon is a lot more supported when it is in those yin signs of water or earth. So when it was in Sagittarius, it was a little bit more volatile. It was kind of clashing with these other planets. Now that it's in Capricorn, it's in a yin sign again. So it will soon kind of meet and combine with Venus, Mars, and Pluto in the next couple days. And then it's also beginning already to sextile the sun in Pisces. So again, when we have that sextile between the moon and the sun, it's very harmonious energy. It will be seen as a sort of waning crescent moon once they make that exact sextile. And yeah, it's generally harmonious. The reason why it's harmonious is because these signs that are two away from one another are different enough to be complementary, to sort of be seen as benefiting one another, creating further balance and well-roundedness. But then they're similar enough to connect and integrate very easily. So it's almost kind of perfect when you have signs like that. And I already touched on that, how Pisces is so creative and intuitive, Capricorn is so pragmatic, practical, disciplined. And so combining those two is really powerful and really harmonious as well. Okay, so that's really excellent. And with Moon entering Capricorn, typically it is kind of a more difficult energy again because the Moon is in detriment in Capricorn. However, like I said, it's so kind of well supported that although we may be dealing with themes that are kind of difficult and make us emotionally uncomfortable, such as Moon in Capricorn is difficult, typically speaking, because we have to put aside our own immediate emotions or feelings and kind of sacrifice those at times for the long term. What do we actually have to do to make our plans and goals come into fruition, or how do we have to sacrifice our immediate happiness for long-term happiness, for for decisions we have to make later on down the road? Moon in Capricorn has to kind of battle those decisions, and sometimes it does have to put in the work now, even though it's not pleasurable to do so, in order to build a better future. So these are kind of less fun themes and very constructive and productive, ambitious, but not always the most fun in the moment. But like I said, we've got Venus and Mars and Capricorn bringing some kind of fun and ambition to the mix here with our plans and goals, and then the Sun in Pisces is supporting Moon in Capricorn. It's bringing that kind of creativity and flow. So all in all, I think this is a pretty beautiful energy. Really great for making progress with our goals and plans, but also just great for relaxing or, pretty much doing anything. And sextiles are really harmonious aspects. So yeah, really great, almost start to the weekend here. By the time we get to Saturday, February 26th, Moon is farther in Capricorn, so it's already made that exact sextile with the Sun, really harmonious. And then now it's approaching Venus and Mars. And as it crosses Venus and Mars, it will just add that extra focus onto the ambition and the pleasure we're getting from, working on long-term plans, working on goals and building structure to our lives, etc. So that's really great. I think that can be really harnessed in a powerful way, really productive. And then February 27th, Moon, by midday, February 27th, Moon has already crossed over Venus, Mars, and Pluto. And then it will enter Aquarius midday here. So I think this is a pretty big shift around midday when it enters Aquarius because, well, for one, Aquarius is, a different sign. It's a lot more light, easygoing, kind of. It can be a little bit deadpan or emotionless at times, but it has more room to breathe, I think, than Capricorn. So with Moon in Aquarius, it's a little bit more relaxed and detached compared to Moon in Capricorn. But by this time as well, the Moon is already closing out its lunar cycle. It's losing that visibility as it approaches the Sun, and it's preparing to become a new moon on March 2nd, I believe, in Pisces. So we're already kind of winding down, and as the moon goes through Aquarius, things will be more relaxed, not as active, because the energy of the moon is dwindling. It's not present. It's not obvious. It becomes more spiritual or non-physical, more subtle as it approaches the sun. And with moon in Aquarius, things are kind of holistic. We're thinking on a societal level. There's more focus on technology and groups as well. But again, it's more subtle. It's not as active. It's more kind of quiet, or it's in a restful period as it goes through Aquarius. And that's what I have. So it looks like a relaxing day on Sunday. And that's pretty much what I have for the week. So definitely stay tuned. Next week, we've got a new moon and lots of other aspects as well. But yeah, that's what I have for you this week. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you'd like a reading of your own, feel free to email me at manic.mercurian@gmail.com. And thanks for watching. I'll see you later.